Hello students, Notebook welcomes you and takes you over to the 5th chapter of Business Studies, Organizing. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Sports is essential for the physical and mental growth of a child. And this ideology was followed firmly and significantly by Mrs. Savitri Khanna. Mrs. Savitri Khanna is the principal of Kirori Mal School. She valued the teaching of various sports to the students as she valued studies. So in order to make the sports day of the school flourish, among other prominent schools around in terms of creative competitions and larger participation, she decided to add a lot of interesting games like grandparents' athletic meet and inter-school hockey and basketball match. Savitri divided the tasks among teachers and students, where senior sports teacher Raj and Sudhir was in charge of ground duty. Raj allotted two senior teachers, Sonam, who is the basketball coach, and Kavita. Sonam supervises the games for the grandparents, and Kavita was in charge of stage activities, which includes anchoring, prize distribution, etc. Kavita further allotted the head girl for anchoring the entire event, whereas, on the other hand, Sudhir appointed 3 volunteers under him, Kyle, Payal and Abhiroop, where Payal was given the responsibility for providing first aid facility and refreshments to the students. Kyle was given the responsibility for providing in making invitation cards and inviting guests, and Abhiroop was given the responsibility of listing the winners for prize distribution. Savitri assigned the work in a systematic way, where all the volunteers can club similar activities together and work systematically. Kavita assured who is to do what. Each group was supposed to report to one supervisor, who was the senior-most teacher of the school, Sudha. Essentially, what the principal did was emphasizing on organizing the plan set, or in other words, putting the plan into action by allocating the right person with the right job. We can assemble all the activities which Savita concentrated upon to form the definition of it. Organizing is a process of defining the essential relationships among people, tasks, and activities in such a way that all the organization's resources are integrated and coordinated to accomplish its objectives efficiently and effectively. Pierce and Robinson. The managerial function of organizing could be called the steps in the process of organizing. After the objectives have been set and policies framed, the necessary infrastructure of organization has to be built up. The concentration goes to functions and activities, and these form the building blocks of the organizational structure. These blocks are essentially called the steps in the process of organizing. Since one single person cannot manage all the organizational activities, the total task is carefully divided into smaller units and assigned to members. Work is assigned according to qualification and ability of persons. Let's discuss the first step in the process of organizing. Identifications and divisions of work. In the process of organizing, the work is identified and then it is divided among the employees so that the target of completing the objective is complete. For example, Savitri identified all the work that has to be undergone for conducting the sports day. Accordingly, she divided the tasks to her responsible teachers. Raj and Sudhir were in charge of ground duty, and accordingly both of them made their own team so that everyone can work in coordination. After the work is assigned to everyone, those performing similar activities are grouped into similar departments. This grouping of activities into departments is called departmentalization. Every department is supposed to work under the supervision of departmental head and is governed by a set of rules, procedures, and standards. The second step is departmentalization. Departmentalization. Activities that are similar in nature are clubbed or grouped together after identifying and dividing the work, hence leading to specialization. This process is known as departmentalization. For example, Savitri assigned work in a systematic way where all of them can club together similar activities and work systematically, which leads to the process of specialization. Subsequent to grouping all activities into specialized departments, people working in these departments are assigned with only one task in that department that suits their skills, qualifications, and capabilities. Here comes the third step: assigning of duties. In the process of organizing, assigning of duties is the most important task that has to be done. Each member in the organization is assigned various tasks according to their skills, and then they are placed under one head to be in charge of that individual. For example, Savitri placed each group under the overall supervision of the senior most teacher, Sudha, so that the work is done accordingly in coordination. The last step comes up with the establishment of authority, which creates a chain of command. This implies that the employees will have to report to an authority who will manage, supervise, guide and oversee the work and responsibilities of their subordinates, reporting to them. Establishing reporting relationships. There should be crystal clear relationships, as everyone has to be clear that who has to do which work and accordingly take orders from which member. For example, all the volunteers in Kirodimal school were aware of the orders that were given by Savitri, Raj and Sudhir, and they worked in coordination. Organizing pitch in the smooth functioning of an organization in accordance with the dynamic business environment. The importance of organizing are illustrated as follows. The points that highlights the importance of organizing are: benefits of specialization, clarity in working relationships, optimum utilization of resources, adaptation to change, effective administration, development of personnel, and expansion and growth. Under organizing, the entire work is systematically allocated and divided into various parts. Right man is put at the right job. This increases the efficiency of the workers and also motivates them to put their best into the work. Benefits of specialization. Organization leads to specialization as it involves clear relationships among individuals, and they are clear of what they need to do. This leads to increase in productivity and also helps in reducing the workload of the individuals. For example, Savitri assigned work in a systematic way to her respected teachers, where all of them were clear of their duties that they have to follow. Hence, this led to specialization. Organizing establishes working relationship and very clearly defines the lines of communication. It also specifies who is to report to whom, which further helps in fixation of responsibility. This also specifies the dimensions of authority which an individual needs to exercise. Clarity in working relationships. In an organization, there should be clear relations among the individuals, as they are clear about which work they have to do and from whom they have to take their orders. This consequently removes obscurity in the process of transferring of information. For example, all the teachers in Kirodimal school were well aware of the orders that were given by Raj and Sudhir under the supervision of Sudha, which helped in working in coordination with the objective of a grand and successful Sports Day celebration. Organizing provides brimful and efficient use of all human, material, and financial resources. Allocation of proper jobs helps in avoiding overlapping of work. This also helps in the optimum utilization of resources without any wastage. Optimum utilization of resources. All the resources should be used in such a way that each resource is properly used. For example, financial and human resources, as this also helps to reduce workload among the individual, and it also enhances productivity. For example, Savitri makes proper use of resources in a systematic manner so that she can clump together all the resources and lead towards specialization and enhance productivity. Organizing facilitates business enterprises to adjust to the environmental changes. For smooth functioning of an enterprise, organizing helps to modify the organizational structure and various interrelationships prevailing in the enterprise. Adaptation to change. Organization involves changes in the growing business environment, as it helps in adapting to the changes and help the individuals in promoting their business forward. For example, Savitri decides to make alternative changes in organizing the sports day of her school by adding games like grandparents' athletic meet and inter-school hockey and basketball match. An organization helps an enterprise in the following ways. Firstly, it leads to specialization, which helps to bring effectiveness in administration. Secondly, it clarifies the center of authority, which results in proper execution of work. And eventually, it provides a very clear description of the jobs and related responsibility, which helps in avoiding any duplicity of work. Effective administration. Organizing helps in effective administration as it assures that each work is done accordingly and all the individuals make efforts in an effective manner in order to set the target. For example, Savitri managed all the work by delegating the tasks to the responsible teachers by guiding them and make them work in a coordinated manner. Organizing promotes diversification of an enterprise. It enables to take up new challenges, example, more departments, more job positions, new product lines, new geographical territories, etc., for amplifying sales and profits. Expansion and growth. For every organization, growth is of optimum priority. Without growth, organizations will not be able to survive. Expansion of business is very necessary as it helps the organization to carry forward its work. For example, in order to make the sports day of the school flourish among other schools, Savitri takes an exorbitant step to include interesting games like grandparents' athletic meet and inter-school hockey and basketball match. The iceberg below the surface is not just made in one day. It is shaped and cultivated through natural and social occurrences, assumptions, and inherent beliefs. It is very important for the managers to find their own icebergs, develop their management through effective organizing strategies. With this, we come to the end of this video lesson. In our next video lesson, we'll discuss about the organizational structure. Till then, happy learning.